Whispers Within, Unraveling the Tapestry of the Paranormal. In the silent enclave of my modest suburban abode, an eerie narrative unfurled, entwining my reality with a spectral enigma that defied the boundaries of reason. The departure of my roommate signaled the inception of an otherworldly odyssey, thrusting me into the clutches of the paranormal, a realm I had fervently dismissed in the past. The tale began in the waning hours of a work-laden evening, shadows stretching their inky fingers across the landscape of my routine. The kitchen bore witness to the solitary rituals of dinner and the hum of the television, yet beneath this facade of normalcy, an unsettling undercurrent began to stir. The antiquated wooden floorboards, companions to the passage of time, groaned and creaked, their usual sounds evolving into a disconcerting symphony. A spectral dance unfolded, the ethereal cadence resonating for an inexplicable half-hour, weaving a sinister tapestry of sound that transcended the ordinary. Anxiety gripped me, a nameless fear clawing at the edges of my consciousness. The once familiar creaks morphed into a haunting melody, a ghostly prelude to an impending encounter with the unknown. Driven by an uneasy curiosity, I muted the television, allowing the disquieting echoes to guide me upstairs. The phantom footsteps traversed the upper floor with an eerie deliberation, like an invisible entity pacing through the rooms. A frisson of fear snaked its way down my spine, as the notion of an intruder took root in my mind. A defiant shout shattered the spectral symphony, my voice piercing the silence in an attempt to reclaim the sanctity of normalcy. The creaking subsided, leaving me suspended in an unsettling quiet, the residue of fear lingering like a ghostly whisper. Armed with a kitchen knife and a fragile semblance of courage, I ascended the stairs, determined to confront the source of my unease. Room by room, I combed through the silence, finding no trace of the supernatural intruder. The house stood stoic, indifferent to the tremors of trepidation that reverberated within me. Desperation to shake off the uncanny encounter led me back to the couch, where I sought refuge from the spectral enigma that clung to the air. The night unfolded in fitful sleep, restless and haunted by a disquiet that resisted the solace of dreams. The mundane act of using the bathroom morphed into a harrowing ordeal as whispering voices emanated from the shadows. In the muted glow of the hallway, the spare bedroom, once the sanctuary of my departed roommate, became a conduit for indistinct, foreign whispers. Leaning against the door, my ear pressed to the spectral threshold, I braced for the otherworldly encounter. The voices swirled, growing louder and more insistent, as if beckoning from just beyond the veil of reality. Rage propelled me to swing the door open, ready to confront the ethereal interlopers. Yet, the room stood empty, a void echoing with the remnants of ghostly conversation. Horror surged through me, an icy grip on my soul, as I fled the house, seeking refuge in the solitude of my parked car. Dialing my roommate in the cold embrace of the night, I trembled as I recounted the haunting experience. His response held a disconcerting mix of understanding and resignation, acknowledging the spectral whispers that had danced through the halls before. The normalcy of my suburban home had unraveled, replaced by a reality that defied explanation. Over a moon's cycle since that harrowing night, the echoes of disbelief persist. The comfort of my bedroom eludes me, and I seek refuge on the couch downstairs, a feeble attempt to escape the spectral dance that reverberates through the wooden floors above. The paranormal has etched its mark on my perception, leaving me adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The haunting whispers persist, a lingering reminder that the boundary between the seen and the unseen is thinner than I dared to imagine, and the supernatural realm encroaches upon my reality with unsettling persistence. Beyond Rationality, a tale of unexplained phenomena. In the tapestry of my existence, inexplicable threads have woven a narrative that defies comprehension. While my natural inclination leans towards skepticism, dismissing unusual occurrences as mere tricks of the mind or products of sleep deprivation, there exists a collection of moments that stubbornly refuses the constraints of rational explanation. One of these enigmatic episodes unfolded within the mundane confines of my daily shower routine. As water cascaded over me in soothing rivulets, A discordant note disrupted the tranquility, the urgent call of my brother's voice, echoing through the bathroom. A chill of unease shivered down my spine. The second instance, more foreboding than the first, resonated louder, accompanied by the phantom barks of our family dog. Perturbed yet compelled by concern, I exited the shower, cautiously cracked the door open, and called out to them. The echo of my voice reverberated in the silence, met only by an absence of response. The dog lay serenely on her bed, and my brother was conspicuously absent. A glimpse out the window confirmed the inexplicable, no sign of their car. In my attempt to rationalize, I attributed these occurrences to familiar territories of auditory hallucinations, a mind accustomed to playing tricks on itself, or perhaps the shadow of a yet undiagnosed mental ailment. However, my self-assurance crumbled as the bizarre calls persisted, loud, distinct, and seemingly tethered to a reality that eluded my understanding. Anxiety took root, its tendrils winding their way into the fertile soil of my consciousness, instigating a fear that I might be on the precipice of a descent into madness. Desperate for solace and understanding, I sought refuge in a conversation with my brother during a game of Borderlands. Mental health became the nexus of our discourse, a shared sanctuary where vulnerability found its voice. As I unveiled the peculiar events of the past month, anticipating a comforting response or perhaps a glimmer of advice, an unexpected silence hung in the air. In a moment of shared revelation, my brother admitted to an eerily parallel experience. His name, too, had echoed through the void, voiced by our absent mother, in a series of inexplicable episodes occurring 5 or 6 times, months prior. It was a communion of unsettling truths, an admission that we were both ensnared by the tendrils of the unexplainable. The confessions marked a turning point, a momentary cessation of the haunting calls that granted us a fleeting respite from the bizarre. For almost 3 weeks, a semblance of normalcy seeped back into our lives, offering a deceptive comfort that the inexplicable had receded. Yet, true to the capricious nature of the paranormal, the reprieve proved transient. A seemingly innocuous night, spent scrolling through Instagram in the sanctuary of my room, unraveled into a nightmarish episode. My mother's voice, typically familiar and comforting, manifested with an aggressive and unfamiliar edge, calling my name from downstairs. Oblivious to the abnormality, I prepared to respond when the bedroom door swung open, revealing not my mother, but an unexplained apparition demanding to know what I wanted. Stunned and silenced, I grappled with the surreal intrusion, only to comprehend that my mother was at work, rendering her an implausible source for the vociferous summons. Panic set in, propelling me to contact my brother in desperate tears. Trapped in the house with an unexplained phenomenon, I sought refuge in my small bathroom, awaiting the return of familiar faces. Hours unfolded, each passing moment filled with uncertainty and dread, until my mother finally arrived home. This inexplicable incident etched an indelible scar in the fabric of my reality, leaving behind unanswered questions that continued to gnaw at my consciousness. Sharing my ordeal with my brother offered no elucidation, and the chilling truth remained elusive. As I commit this account to writing, it serves not only as a recounting but as a cathartic release, an attempt to exorcise the specter of the unexplained that lingers in the recesses of my memory. The fear of confronting a paranormal reality endures, a truth I may never be ready to embrace. Forest's Embrace, a tale of haunting in the wilderness. Many moons ago, in the bitter February of 2001, a chilling invitation led me on a journey to the heart of northern Saskatchewan. My friend, bearing the pseudonym Jake for the sake of secrecy, enticed me to his uncle's remote cabin nestled in the eerie embrace of a dense forest. An isolated abode, it stood as a single-story ranch with no electricity, no running water, and only the rustling trees for company. As dusk painted the surroundings in somber hues, we arrived at the desolate cabin. The next day, fueled by wanderlust, Jake and I ventured into the surrounding forest in search of firewood. Amidst the gnarled fingers of the trees, an anomalous sight caught our attention, an abandoned house, incongruously situated in the wilderness. Intrigued, Jake urged me to investigate. Despite my reservations, curiosity led me to cross the threshold through a boarded-up window. The abandoned house, like a sepulchre of forgotten memories, emanated a musty odor. Roaming through its silent halls, a peculiar doorway beckoned, a passage to the unknown depths of the basement. Against my instincts, I descended into the dimly lit abyss, revealing an unsettling scene. Candles flickered in a sinister arrangement, suggestive of occult practices. A pervasive sense of malevolence hung in the air. In my exploration, I stumbled upon an empty alcove behind the stairs. But as I retraced my steps, an otherworldly presence materialized, a black figure, towering at 8 feet, with eyes aflame in malevolent red. A guttural growl reverberated through the basement, and terror seized me. I fled the scene, leaving the haunted basement behind. Jake, unaware of the unearthly encounter, urged a swift exit. Little did we know, our ordeal had only just begun. Returning to the cabin, I recounted the nightmarish vision to Jake. Surprisingly, he believed my tale, and we agreed to bury the haunting incident in the recesses of our minds. However, as the moon cast its silver glow upon the cabin, an unspoken disquiet settled within our souls. Awakening in the stillness of 2:17 a.m., an unsettling feeling gripped my senses. Subtle footsteps echoed outside our bedroom door, awakening Jake as well. Silently, we listened as the footsteps grew louder, drawing me to the door. Cracking it open, I was met with a sight that would haunt my dreams, an intruder, not of this world, lurking in the shadows. The same creature that had tormented my nightmares since the basement encounter. Moonlight struggled to pierce the darkness, yet the twisted form turned, its red eyes fixating on our bedroom door. Panic surged through our veins, prompting a desperate escape through the bedroom window, leaving our belongings abandoned. As we sprinted towards Jake's truck, a spine-chilling scream pierced the air, confirming the inhuman presence that stalked us. Silent in our terror, we sped away, leaving the haunted cabin and its cryptic secrets behind. 2 decades have passed, and Jake and I remain friends, bound by the unspoken pact of shared horror. We dare not revisit that cursed cabin, for what lurks in the shadows of the northern Saskatchewan woods remains a mystery, one that I have no desire to unravel.